Hello. What all things you have to keep in mind while preparing for a job interview? Job interview is very important part of your selection process whenever you're applying in any organization for a particular role. So how you're going to prepare for a job interview is extremely important. There are few points that we should consider during the preparation process. The first thing that we should keep in mind is about the organization. We should do some kind of research. Like in whichever organization you are applying, you must visit its website, the company website, about its USPs, about its mission and vision statements, about its progress over a period of time, about its growth, about its strengths and weaknesses, everything. So you can go visit its website, then you can just Google the details related to that company. So otherwise what happens is that, okay, just because I'm applying for the job of a Java developer, so wherever I get a job, okay, in the nearby location, I'm applying over there. So what happens sometimes that in the organizations, while giving the interview, you're not just aware of those organizations. So it gives a very bad impression about your interest for that particular organization and that role. So the first and foremost thing is that you must know about the organization, if not in detail, then at least having a good idea. Then the second thing is that you should read the job description very carefully before going for the interview. Okay, based on the job description only you found that it matches your profile and therefore you are applying. But what happens is that you are also applying parallel in the other organizations. So you will definitely forget after some times when your CV gets shortlisted and when you get a call for the interview. By that time you will forget that what was there in that job description, what were the role and responsibilities which were related to my profile. So definitely once your CV gets shortlisted and once you're asked to come for an interview, you should go through the job description again with all the things like the role and responsibility, what kind of problem this particular role is going to solve of that organization, how important is this particular role for the organization, try to figure it out. So read all those things before you appear for the interview. Then the next thing is that you should also be well prepared with the key skill based questions. That is, if suppose you are a software professional, then whether you are mainly you're into Java or you are into .NET, or maybe you are a full stack developer, front end developer, back end developer, whatever you are, whatever are your key skills, you must find out that okay, these are the skills which are needed for this particular profile. So I am most of them are matching my profile, but I should not be overconfident. Before going for the interview, I must brush up with my key skills. The other thing is that what happens is some of the skills that were needed, you are right now not hands-on. Okay, you have worked on those skills maybe in the previous projects that were, say, it was a matter of say 2-3 years back, but recently you're not working on any project that is related to Python, but you want to go ahead with the profile that has Python in it. So definitely you must brush up with such skills. So preparing well for the technical interview is very important for the success in your interview. Then the next thing is related to the HR kind of questions, that is, tell me about yourself. So this is a kind of question that everybody, whether a technical person, non-technical person, HR, would ask you, that tell me about yourself. Therefore just be prepared with the answer mentioning about you, your background, your educational qualification, your area of the area in which you are working for the last few years, and what are your basic skills and abilities. So in short, just think about it, how you are going to frame the answer one after other, the points that you're going to share. Just be prepared for that. If you are a fresher, then definitely your experience, and you need not mention. Then you have to talk about your interests, your training, and of course that your certifications if they're there, or maybe you'll talk about your hobbies. So that you can mention in tell me about yourself. Also, you should be knowing that why you are a right fit for the organization and for that particular role. Okay, so they might ask you that why you are interested in this particular position with us, or why do you want to join us. So you should have a strong reason to tell that why you want to join the organization. Why they ask this question is because they want to know that how stable you are for their role. It should not come across like, okay, this guy wants to change to the job because he's frustrated with his current organization and therefore he just wants to join any other organization. The other reason they might try to probe is that, okay, this person wants a hike in the salary because he's not getting a good appraisal for quite some time now. So money is the main factor. No, you should try to explain that your progression in career, your interest in learning, your interest in that particular field, okay, where you're applying, that is more important and that is driving you to apply for the job, rather than you're frustrated with the current organization. You might be frustrated, that might be possible, but it should not come across that way. So that is another thing. Then there are certain other points that you should keep in mind, that you should prepare for the behavioral interview. Now, behavioral interview questions are such like, how would you handle work pressure, or maybe some other kind of questions like how you are good manager, explain it to us. So these are some of the behavioral questions. They just give you a scenario, or they might ask you something that is related to your prior experience in certain situations. So in that case, it is not possible to anticipate the question and answer it directly. How and prepare, mug up all the behavioral questions that are available, it's not possible. But definitely you should keep some stories in your mind that, okay, if this kind of question is asked, that how do you handle pressure, or how do you deal with people who are not supporting you or your progress or whatever. So just try to think while preparing for technical questions. Do prepare for the behavioral questions, that okay, I'm going to answer it this way, and it should always sound positive. Okay, then you must try to quantify your accomplishments, that is whatever you have achieved. You should always be able to explain it through number. That, for example, if they require somebody who has good experience in technical field as well as a good managerial person, so you must tell that I have handled a team of 15 persons, okay, or maybe the project I was working on and I was leading, that helped in cutting the cost of the organization, or save the time of the organization, or increase the sales by this percent. So some numbers should be there with you to explain that this is really your success. So that you should be ready with, okay, while explaining. And of course, then the other thing is that you should be looking professional while you are going for the interview. So just keep that your body language should be proper, astute, and your dressing, everything should be professional. So these are some of the things that you should keep in mind while preparing for the interview, job interviews.